everyone. It is an absolutely beautiful day here in New Orleans. The last like 3 or 4 days have been amazing. Ever since we had that cold snap when it was in the 20s, all of a sudden it's just gotten to be absolutely beautiful out. 70 degrees and sunny, shorts and t-shirt kind of weather. So I've been wearing shorts like every day. It's been amazing. So I'm gonna go spend some time exploring City Park and show you guys around there. First things first though, I gotta cook up some lunch. I have some leftover curry that I made the other day, so I'm gonna heat that up and then eat that for lunch and then go explore a little bit around City Park.
Gray clouds wrap round the town like elastic, and cars shone like buttons on an old man's jacket. We needed a nail, but we tacked it till it fell off the wall. And pigeons pecked planes, sparks flew like trains, and the rain on the rainbow, the oil stains. And we all had new iPhones, but no one had no one to call. So I stumbled down to the stomach of town, where the widow makes memories to slowly drown. And a hand to the sky, and a mist in her eyes, she said, don't you cry for the lost, smile for the living. Get what you need and give what you're given. You know life's for the living, so live it, or you're better off dead. I'm sick of this town, this blind man's forage. They'll take your dreams down and they stick them in storage. You can have them back, son, once you've paid off your mortgage and loans. Oh, to hell with this place, I'll go at it my way. I'll stick out my thumb and trudge down the highway. Someday someone must be going my way home. Till then I'll make my bed from a disused car, with a mattress of leaves and a blanket of stars. And I'll stitch the words into my heart with a needle and thread. And don't you cry for the lost, smile for the living. Get what you need and give what you're given. You know life's for the living, so live it, or you're better off dead. Don't you cry for the lost, smile for the living. Get what you need and give what you're given. You know life's for the living, so live it, or you're better off dead.
So I wanted to discuss something briefly that's been on my mind a lot recently, and it's just the idea that the grass is always greener on the other side. I mean, when I started this journey, I can imagine that that's part of what compelled me to do this, and I feel like it's probably what I guess drives a lot of nomads out there. And there are so many different types of nomads now, between van life and RV life and living these lifestyles where people are able to travel internationally full time and all these different things. And I don't know, I think it's something that is kind of interesting to talk about, and I don't think I've ever really talked about it. When I was in Albuquerque, right when I started this journey, I guess it was in March. It was probably about a month or maybe 2 months after I moved into the element full time. I remember I was at a Starbucks getting some work done, and like the day before that, I had skied at Taos, New Mexico, which is it's an incredible mountain, very, very challenging and absolutely beautiful terrain. One of the most beautiful experiences, at least in terms of nature, that I've ever had. And I remember just thinking how beautiful it was and how incredible it was that I was in New Mexico for the first time, and it's somewhere that's completely different from anywhere that I had really been before, and I was really getting the chance to spend a lot of time there. And I was at Starbucks just doing some coding, learning a few things, and I remember someone sat down at the table that I was at. It was like one of those big tables that is shared at the Starbucks. And she was sitting there, and she looked kind of distressed, and she was waiting. It looked like she was waiting for someone. And then eventually someone shows up, a guy. And I wasn't really trying to eavesdrop on their conversation, but I was working, and they were talking pretty loudly. So I ended up overhearing a lot of what they were saying. And she was, like I said, she was very distressed, and it appeared that this guy was maybe a good friend, or potentially like a former lover or some sort. And she was talking, and based on what I could gather, she was from the area in Albuquerque. She had been there her whole life, kind of thing, and she had, it seemed, convinced herself that moving out of town was the best solution to her problem. She said she was depressed, she wasn't feeling well, and this guy was, on the other hand, trying to convince her not to, that everyone she knew was here, that she was there for her, that her family was there for her. And she was talking about how she wanted to move to Dallas, Texas. And based on what I could gather, she had never actually been to Dallas, Texas, and didn't have anything lined up there, or didn't really know anyone there. She wanted to go there. And I had been to Dallas, Texas many times, and I'm not saying that it's the worst place in the world or anything like that, but it's it's very, very different from New Mexico, where you have all this natural beauty and mountains and all these things that I was, there ecstatic about and just blown away by. And then here, on the other hand, there's someone who wants to go the exact place that I was literally just at a couple of days before on the road trip, and that I've been to many times before. And I don't think that I would really want to live there. So I don't know. I thought it was an interesting concept to overhear this conversation and to kind of, be like a fly on the wall to an extent, and be thinking the polar opposite of what she's thinking, but at the same time still being driven to California and to the West Coast by the exact same motive. I didn't know anybody in California. I mean, I had been there before. I knew that the surf was really good, and that was the primary reason that I was going there. But I mean, it's really, really interesting. So reflecting on that now, almost a year later, I'm here in New Orleans, and I know that I should stay here for a little bit longer, but at the same time, I'm incredibly restless to get back on the road and to get back to California, where I can surf more frequently and spend more time out there. And I know that that's not necessarily going to make me happier or anything like that. And I know that when I leave New Orleans, I'm going to be kind of giving up pretty much everything that I have here forever, because all the people that I know here are going to be moving away within the next couple of months. And then, at least in terms of friendship and stuff, that's not going to be here anymore. So it's just really, it's interesting. I'm in this crossroads where I really want to hit the road and get out of town as soon as I can. But at the same time, I know that I need to try to focus on enjoying what I have now and enjoying the moment, I guess, and really living in the moment for the next couple of months, and enjoying being in New Orleans, because like I said, it's not going to be here forever. What I have here now is not going to be here forever. So I don't know, it's just, I wanted to talk about that a little bit and share that story with you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all in the next video.